good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new rebuild, and this time it is on Nottingham Forest. Now, Nottingham Forest in real life are struggling massively financially in the league, being a little bit screwed over by the referees at the moment, because at the time of filming this is just in the aftermath of their released statements of the 3 penalty calls that they had in real life at the Everton game, which I'll leave that for another day on my own opinions on a podcast somewhere. But I feel like Nottingham Forest are probably one of the most historic clubs in the UK. One of the most historic clubs in the world. At the end of the day, they won 2 European Cups back in the 70s, and as you can see, like sort of when you click on their history, they've got a good amount of history. They've won the League Cup a few times. They've won the FA Cup a couple of times. They've even won the top division title once. That was way back in 1978. But obviously 2 Champions Leagues as well in 79 and 80. When it was the European Cup back in that time, but to win it back to back, huge achievement. But since then, they've freefalled, they've nosedived, as you can see from the league graph here. Over the last 20 or so years, they've gone from Championship down to League One, back up to the Championship, and just floating around until they got promoted a couple of seasons back. But now they're in even worse trouble because of the fact that they have this little points deduction of 4 points due to financial mismanagement, which starts them off in a pretty rough spot. Whilst also taking this challenge on though, I have decided to make it even more difficult to rescue these guys, and it is going to be a rebuild with British players only. So English, Scottish, Northern Irish, Welsh. That is it. And that should make the challenge even more difficult because, in my opinion, anybody can come on and do a rebuild of Nottingham Forest, spending money left, right and centre, knowing where the best wonder kids are all around the world and all that sort of stuff. I wanted to give myself a bit more of a challenge to see if it is possible just to do it with British players only, and also on the game to see the state of how British players are being produced on the game in respect to, like, sort of in real life. Have we got the best talent coming through for England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales? Are we able to be competitive with the other international countries who have got possibly better youth systems than we have? We will see. With it being only a 5-year rebuild, I think the main target is just, if we can win a domestic cup, that'd be great. If I can get us qualified for Europe, that'd be great as well. But the main aim is to use British players and bring in financial and club stability and keep them in the Premier League for the entire rebuild. No relegation or anything like that. So that being said, let's jump into it. I will go straight to the transfers because we didn't have a budget at all. The transfers pretty much had already been done. I don't think I actually signed anybody in this first season. No, I didn't, because they'd already brought in, stop doing that, Rodrigo Ribeiro, Nuno Tavares, Giovanni Reina, Divock Origi, Gonzalo Montiel as all first team players, all on loan, because that's all the club could afford. And I'll show you why in a second, because even though they have sold £49 million worth of players, the financials do not look good. We're still in the red in the overall balance, no transfer budget. We have £121 million in debt. It's not looking pretty. But squad-wise, I actually think with those loan signings and what they've got in at the moment, they've got some really good players in this side. The likes of Andrew I can never say his name, Omobamidele, and Moussa Niakate. These 2 centre-backs I think will be like sort of the mainstay of the club. Neco Williams, great fullback, loved him at Liverpool, and I can understand why Liverpool let him go, because he deserves that first team run of football. Nicolas Dominguez is, in my opinion, actually probably one of the best central midfielders on the game. His stats are great. As a ball-winning, deep-lining playmaker, he's got it, all of it. And he's a good age as well, so I'm hoping to keep him around for the entire 5 years as well. Morgan Gibbs-White, everybody knows about him in real life, and he's very, very good on the game as well. And Giovanni Reina, that one actually surprised me. I'm surprised they got him from Dortmund, and I'm surprised Dortmund let him go, because he's a fantastic player. And then Taewoo Awonyi, another former Liverpool player, really good, strong striker, along with another former Liverpool player, Divock Origi. So there's a theme here, but as you can see from the overall averages and the goals being scored, we've had a pretty decent start to the season. So friendlies all went okay. So we started off, actually I think with quite an easy fixture list to start the season off. So we had Luton, beat them 3-0, great start to the season. Drew 0-0 with Burnley away, which I don't think is any major sort of loss on points or anything. I think that's actually a pretty decent point, all things considered. But these two, Newcastle at St James's Park battered them 4-0 with Reina, Montiel with 2 penalties, and Neco Williams. Through to the next round of the Carabao Cup, beating Wolves 3-0, which again, another great result. And they played quite a strong side as well. And then just after the transfer window, I played the Sheffield United game and beat them 3-1. So basically all the relegation candidates who are there or thereabouts and are going to be pushing us at the end of the season, we've had really good results against them already. So with that being said, we are 7th in the table on 6 points. If we didn't have those 4 points deducted, we would actually be joint top at the moment with Man City. So that I am taking great comfort from at the moment. But I am now going to go and simulate the season, and let's see where we can end up on this first one. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we'll stave off relegation with this good start, and I'm going to predict we're going to comfortably sit around about 15th, 16th this season. I think we'll still be in a relegation scrap, but I think we'll survive. So come and join me just after the tick over, and we'll see where we end up. Well, there we have it. I predicted 15th or 16th, and we actually finished 10th quite comfortably. Actually, we were there or thereabouts for the season. 8th, 9th, 10th, 8th, 9th, 10th. So we've been there or thereabouts, just on the outskirts of the Europa League spots. Albeit we are still, what a good, was that, 22 points off Arsenal. I'm not going to complain about that, considering we had 4 points already docked at the start of the season, which would have put us on 51, which if we didn't have that point stock, we would have finished 9th ahead of Brighton. I'm quite happy with that. I mean, at the end of the day, Spurs pushing... This game's mad. Sometimes Spurs are actually pushing Man City. Yeah, alright. But Forest, yeah, I'm happy with that. You look at the league goals. Awonyi got 13. Sangare got the highest average rating. Most assists from Awonyi as well. Best pass completion. Niakate is a key player for us. He is really, really good centre-back on this. And he ain't going to get any worse, that's for certain. He's only going to keep on getting better for at least the next couple of years. So, yeah, I'm happy to have him in the squad. I'm going to keep all of him as best as I bloody well can. Let's have a quick look at the squad. And let's have a look at the overall goals. Average rating wise is pretty poor, to say the least. But goals and assists wise, Awonyi, Origi, Reina, Gibbs-White, Chris Wood. Even Ribeiro got a couple of goals. That's such a weird one. Such a weird transfer, because I don't think... Somebody can comment down below if anyone has actually seen Ribeiro play for Forest this season. I don't think he has. And if he hasn't, it is a complete and utter waste of a loan and a waste of talent, because this kid has got some talent and he needs to be playing. But at the same time, he's not British. So I'm not going to trigger that optional fee. So yeah, there's going to be some big movements coming in the next episode, transfer window, that's for certain. So yeah, a lot. When we look at the schedule, we had an absolute stinker towards the end of the season. I think, what was that, only 3 wins in 3 months. That's bad. We had a decent period around December and January, which I think really, really helped. Including our start of the season, which actually, but when I simulated, we actually ended up going and beating Brentford and Chelsea as well, which would have pushed us up to the top of the table. But then things started going a little bit wobbly. And yeah, second half of the season, really let ourselves down there. Getting beaten by Villa. We got to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Yeah, because have a look at the competitions. Semi-final of the FA Cup, Carabao Cup third round. Oh well, it is what it is. I forgot to show tactically wise as well. I've gone for a 4-2-2-2, narrow. So I think this is what best suited the players that we had, because if we have a look at position wise, not too many wingers, a lot of central players. So that's what I went with, and that's the reason why I went with that tactic, because I think that works really well. And if I do a pick without restriction best 11, that's how it works out. Reina, Gibbs, White, Awoniyi, Origi up front, Yates and Sangari in the midfield, Tavares, Niakate, Omar Bamidele and Montiel, and then Sells in goal. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that team. And I'm quite happy with that first season, how it went. So we roll on to the second season, and if we have a look at the, well, yeah, quick look at the club vision, they're ecstatic with me, the board and the supporters. So they're more than happy. We've avoided relegation, competitive elsewhere. It's all good. Financially wise, though, I've got a funny feeling that I'm going to have to sell some of my bigger players for big money to bring in more money, because I've only got a £10 million, although saying that, I don't think I've had my full transfer budget come through yet. Looking at the date. Let's have a look, see if it's come through. No, it hasn't, not yet. So, yeah, we'll see what the transfer budget is like in the next episode. So, that's it for this one, folks. Season 1, great success, stabilised the club, finishing 10th. Let's see if we can build on it, but with that little British twist. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a like on the video if you did enjoy this, and also check out the other rebuilds that I've done on the channel. Also, please subscribe and share this channel around your friends, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.